So yeah, I guess I can't really remember where we are, but anyway, I think we're on Bailey versus Alexa Bliss. So I like
Yeah,
that feud. Um, I like that Alexa Bliss kind of has some muscle uh, with those guys, and I think it's a good chance for I don't know. I mean, I would hate to say like the vaudevillains, but that's probably what they'll do to like give to Bailey.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and they could just do like a couple, 6-person um intergender like kind of matches or
Yeah,
something.
like they did with Enzo and Cass and Carmella.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So and Bailey and Carmella are good buds, so that could kind of sway in her favor if they want to kind of live close to reality, but who knows? NXT doesn't seem to do that, which we appreciate. Oh, but speaking of reality, oh my god, that new show that they're gonna have on the network, that looks awesome. With the it's like kind of documentary behind the scenes kind of thing about
Yeah, the
NXT.
was it Breaking Ground?
Breaking Ground, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that looks great. That looks incredible. Like that is what Total Divas like should be. You know what I
Should
mean?
be,
Like that.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I like to see right there. Like just behind the scenes, real people. Like that's awesome. That's the stuff. I cannot wait till that debuts. So
Seeing
uh,
Bailey in civilian clothes.
sure, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Man. Um, oh, I know I'm kind of backtracking here, but did you notice Nia Jax's opponent's name? It was like Evie, and I was like, God, why does WWE love that name or variations of that name? It's like Eva Marie, Eva Mendes, this
Oh
chick
yeah.
named Evie. Like it's just there's so many similar names there.
Yeah, I guess she's not really part of the company. She's on their radar. She was part of the shot that was on for the
Yeah, yeah,
weekend.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, she looked good. I'm sure. I kind of figured that. I'm like, this probably isn't like homebred gal. Like this is kind of somebody that they
yeah,
brought
she
in.
seems like she's from like New Zealand.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Um, but anyway, yeah, man, the Divas division in NXT is just getting stronger. I really am enjoying it. Moving on to the guys, they had a big battle royal to see who the number one contender would be for Finn Balor's NXT Championship. Um, Pretty fun one, I thought. I thought it was a good
I like
match.
the fact that you had the some of the tag team guys in there too. You had Blake and Murphy in there. You had Enzo and Cass in there. You had the Hype Bros in there. You had the Mechanics in there.
Yeah.
Um, so you had a lot of bodies in there, and it was you could see like sometimes like I'm pretty sure I saw Joe laughing a couple of times. Um, I was rooting for Tyler Breeze.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I'm always rooting for
I
Tyler
wanted Breeze
Breeze.
to get.
Yeah,
I
I
wanted
want
him
him
to
to
get
get
another
a shot.
shot.
I know. Yeah, he's had enough of them, but man, I love Tyler Breeze. I want him to be the champ soon. They really need a good heel champ. They're not like Finn Balor's doing a bad job, but I mean, I love Finn Balor. I think he's awesome, but I think that them having a good heel champ again would be nice. Because I think Finn Balor's just kind of you know wasted talent down there. Like he
Yeah,
should be main
he's
roster
kind
guy.
of like promo wise, he's kind of vanilla. Um, that's why I was kind of hoping for that Joe heel turn during the Dusty Classic, but I
Yeah,
guess they decided to not do that. Um,
yeah. I wanted that really bad too. So
I think they did it just so that it was, it was more about the Dusty Classic than any storylines or anything like that. So,
yeah,
so I
and
guess it's okay.
I guess if you want to talk about Dusty Classic for a second, I was a little taken back too that like Finn and Joe won it. I thought that they should have had somebody win it who who maybe needed it or was more of like a product of Dusty Rhodes than anybody else. I mean, Balor's been there for a little bit, but I mean, he was a pretty big star, internationally. And
Right.
Joe hasn't really been there very long, and he's one of the biggest stars in wrestling ever. So it's like, eh. Um, I would have liked to seen like a legit tag team too. Like I was really hoping for like Jordan and Gable to come away with it, just because like those are two guys that have been there. And you know, they could have hung their hats on something like that, saying, you know, oh, we're the Dusty Classic champs, you know, like, and it would have meant something, and it's not just going to go away in a couple weeks.
Or the mechanics that seem to be getting a pretty good push. You know, they had already beaten the tag team champs in the Vaudevillains during the tournament. You know, if they had gone on to win the whole thing, that would have been a really, really big push for them to have, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Those guys are good. I like those guys. They can both seem to talk to, I think, the guy with the chops, what's his name? Not Dasher. Who's the other guy?
Sawyer Fulton? No. No, that's
the guy with the mohawk, the big dude. Dawkins?
Dawkins.
Dawkins is good. Like
Angelo Dawkins is
no,
the other guy with.
Yeah, he's the guy with Fulton. What's the other guy's name? I know like listeners right now are like screaming it, but it's Dawson. God, not Dawkins, Dawson. God, they're so close. Yeah. Dawson. Yeah, the guy with the sideburns. That guy can talk, man. That guy's like spitting image of like Arn Anderson. Like he can talk, he can roughhouse, like he's awesome. So I think they're a good tag team. And yeah, that would have been a great choice, I think, to walk away with it, because both of those guys too have been in developmental for a while. I was just a little irked that I was like, really? Finn Balor's like already the champ, like he doesn't need this, you know. And Joe, he doesn't.
I was kind of digging like how Rhino and Baron Corbin were kind of getting along and working together and you know, putting the beat down on people. I mean, because you had two big dudes. And just another thing, like I think we have to stop saying developmental now, because
it's true.
It's, I mean, they're bringing in new talent and they're fostering new talent, you know, like Nia Jax and you know, some of these other people. But when you've got, you know, Apollo Crews winning the Battle Royal, you know, and he's, you know, going up against pretty much Samoa Joe at the end, and you know, plus you think about it, like the Divas division for NXT, even with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte gone, is still a stronger women's division than the main rosters. Yeah, their tag division is way better, and their one male championship, the heavyweight NXT, legit people vying for that. You got Apollo Crews, you got Baron Corbin now is gaining some steam. Joe. Tyler Breeze, you know, Bull Dempsey, maybe, you know, you just get quite a few guys, you know, that can mix it up every week, and they're all trying for that #1 contender spot, which you never hear on the main roster. Nobody's ever going to be #1 contender.
No, it's just kind of buried in storyline, you know. It's
you never know who the #1 contender is. It's whatever old guy they can dig up to fight Seth Rollins next month.
Right. Oh man. So what do you think of Apollo Crews winning the Battle Royal and he's the #1 contender? I kind of dig it. I mean, I dig Apollo Crews. I think that his thing is just being super athletic. And it's kind of like the same thing with like Neville. Like, he doesn't really have like a character, so to speak, but he's just super athletic. The guy's athletic.
You know, he's, you know, definitely talented enough. Telling you, you know, that he really hasn't lived in sweat in NXT long enough to kind of jump over some of the better established guys. I don't know. I just kind of feel like I feel bad for guys like Tyler Breeze and Baron Corbin that have kind of been looked over to get the newer guys in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I don't feel as bad for Tyler Breeze just because I love Tyler Breeze, but I mean, he's had his shot. I feel bad that he hasn't gotten it yet, but I mean, I think that if he won this Battle Royal, I'd be like, okay, well, they're just gonna do the same thing that they always do to him. But I agree, like Baron Corbin, as much as I am kind of about him, I think he would have been a good contender for this, especially after, you know, kind of eliminating Rhino and dissolving that friendship or whatever they had, that a partnership.
You don't think Baron Corbin's getting better?
No, I do think he's getting better. It's just, I think in the ring wise, I mean, I think Apollo Crews is far better.
Well, I
But
just
I don't
think
know, man. I think
it's a completely different style, though. I think Baron Corbin's more Undertaker, Stone Cold than he is, Neville. He's going to
yeah,
throw
true.
more punches. He's going to be more, Bradshaw. He's got a really good working punch. I think he
Yeah,
really lays it in there. He's got a good step and a slap with it.
yeah,
And some of the stuff like he did with during the Dusty Classic, some of the stuff he did with Chad Gable was unbelievable. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of that had to do with Gable, but some of the stuff they pulled off was just awesome.
yeah. The end of days, is that what it's called? That on Gable.
It
That
was
was
that, but what about there was a move that Gable did before that? That was, I mean, he was spinning around and everything, even before the
yeah,
end of days. He pulled off another move, and it was just really cool.
yeah. No, dude, I definitely agree. I think he's getting a lot better. I mean, I'm just not like over the moon for him, but I think he's definitely on the right path, and I really want to see the guy succeed, and I think he will. I think you're right on, like hit the nail right on the head with the comparison to like Taker, Stone Cold. Like that's his style. He's just a brawler. He's big, badass kind of guy. I hope it happens. I said, like, I would have been fine with him winning this. Absolutely. I think that would have been great. Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. That would have been awesome. I think that would have been great. But they went with Apollo
Have
Crews.
you noticed that in NXT, any of the matches, I mean, and it just kind of goes to the writing of it, I guess, is that when people do their finishing move in NXT, it's pretty much the end of the match.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of kickouts. I mean, you get a lot of near falls, but they're not, 2 count. Oh my God, I can't believe he kicked out of that,
Yeah, unless it's like a very, very high profile match. Like
right.
I think Sasha kicked out of the Bailey to belly like once, but not off. But then she had to do it like off the top rope when that was like
on
that
their
was the
big
kicker.
shows. They're not doing it on Raw every week with John
Right.
Cena kicking out of everybody's everything.
Exactly. Yeah. They're very old school like that. I mean, dude, back in the day when Jake the Snake Roberts hit the DDT, it was done. Like that was it. Match over. Like there was no like, nobody even did another DDT. Like it was just that was it. So, I mean, and I know how strongly you feel about DDTs, but I agree with you totally, man. They definitely have that mentality of like finisher, over, done. So.
Right. And another thing I like is that their champions, they don't overuse their champions.
Yeah.
Finn Balor, he's had like one match on NXT since he became champion. All the rest of his matches have been on the takeover shows. Bailey, I think, had one match, maybe two, since Brooklyn. So
yeah,
I
like
mean,
they make
doing a good
appearances.
job.
Yeah, they make
appearances.
Yeah. I agree, and and that's kind of a throwback thing too. Like that's what I feel really strongly about. I think I heard Colt say this one time, but it was like, and I've kind of always liked it, and I've always remembered it. Is like when you were a kid and you were watching Hulk Hogan. Like the reason why you wanted to see Hulk Hogan is because you didn't see him all the time. Like
Right.
he maybe would like cut a recorded promo like on Superstars in the Morning or whatever, at like 10 a.m. But you didn't see him wrestle every Saturday morning. You saw him wrestle at WrestleMania and SummerSlam and Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble. Like that's when you saw the Hulkster wrestle, or like Saturday Night Main Event. But it wasn't.
Right.
But it wasn't every week. And that was like the allure of the Hulkster. And I feel like that's what NXT does very, very well with their champions. Is that, like you said, Finn Balor wins the belt. He makes appearances. He's there, but he's got a mic in his hand, and he's got his leather jacket on, but he's not necessarily involved in a match.
Right.
This Dusty Classic, was kind of an exception, but
right. But that was something different.
Right.
But even like they did it with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens didn't have a whole bunch of matches in between takeover shows when he was champion.
Right.
They spend a lot more of the time building up the contender the number one contender, so that you actually care about the match when it happens on the takeover shows. I mean, how many people, you know, they did that whole thing with Bailey leading up to the Brooklyn show, she took on Becky Lynch, took on Charlotte,
Yep.
she went through that whole progression, so everybody kind of got behind her. And it's not so much, I mean, yeah, she's getting a push from the company, but they're doing it in such a way that you're pushing her along too, as a fan, you're wanting her to get pushed along.
Yeah.
And it makes you care more.
No, totally. I agree. As opposed to, you go on the main roster and John Cena is involved in like every match on every show. He's involved in tag team, 6-man tags. Let's put Cena in there, or like,
Right.
it's just over the top. And it kind of, outwears its welcome, I guess, to say. So, but I mean,
if you're going to have King Barrett and Stardust of the next pay-per-view battle, we don't need to see them fight every week up until then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that kind of goes back to like the lack of talent enhancement that they have, or at least that they want to use. It's unfortunate that there are guys on the mid-card level that kind of wind up being talent enhancement or should be talent enhancement. Like, unfortunately, guys like Adam Rose, who I love and I don't want to see him in that role, but that's what he is, and they still don't use him in that role. Like, like guys like R-Truth, guys like Swagger, like all these mid-card guys, these are the guys that the guys vying for titles should be fighting against. I mean, back in the day, like during the Attitude Era, where you would see, if DX...
You had jobbers.
Right, you had jobbers. I mean, if DX was going against the Nation, and in the big match at whatever, let's say SummerSlam, was Rock versus Triple H, the two leaders of the factions, like they wouldn't fight each other one-on-one on Raw. Like it would either be a tag team match or like Triple H would be fighting D'Lo and The Rock would be fighting X-Pac. Like that's how they would do all this. But now they're just like, you guys, Ziggler versus Rusev every day, every night until the pay-per-view, and then that's the match. And it's the same fucking match every single time.
Exactly. And they did a good job with it, I think. Like when Kevin Owens was champion, he would fight, like he had a match against what's his name there? Solomon Crow. And it was a good match. But he beat up Solomon Crow and he cut a promo on Sami Zayn saying you're going to end up just like this,
Right.
Use those matches, use them to cut promos on the other guy. But you don't need to show us, the same match 4 fucking times before a pay-per-view, 5 times, 2 times a week, for 3 weeks until the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It gets old.
Yeah, it does get old. I mean, and it's just it's the showings of it being just lazy, like lazy writers. Like, oh, what are we gonna do? Just put them in a match tonight and let them figure it out. Have the wrestlers make it different. It's like, no, that's not their job. Their job is to go out there and put on a good match. But it's not gonna be a good match. I mean, if you're gonna see Ziggler versus Rusev, I'm pretty sure I've seen that match 30 times like this year. Like it's just, I mean, not that many, but it's just insane.
Like the Wyatts right now. What if you had some matches where it was, Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt against, Fandango and Slater and just murdering them, and then cut a promo on Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns afterwards,
right?
Just on somebody inferior, and then tell them that that's what's going to happen to you, and make you want to see the match. Don't give it all away. It's just absolutely ridiculous. They give it all away all the time. It's like,
Yeah, and I'm sick of like 6-man tag matches too. Like there's just no creative behind it. They're just like, who's shooting with these guys? Okay, just put them in a 6-man tag match, and like that'll be the main event. Or just, it's like, ugh, come on, put something behind it. They've been doing that for like years now, and I really think it's hurt the product. Like I remember, God, a couple years ago, it was uncountable how many times John Cena tagged with the Usos. It was just insane. I was like, this is nuts. Like, what is happening? Why is this the same match?
Yeah, it's because you're making those other teams like the Shield, 3 guys, the New Day, 3 guys, the Wyatts, 3 guys. You know, if you're gonna have that many 3-man teams, make a goddamn trios belt.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Something for a while.
Right.
They've retired belts and brought them back. I mean, what's wrong with the tag division right now? There's no teams in the tag division right now.
Yeah.
You've got the Dudleys, the New Day. Yep.
That's about it. Yeah.
Because Los Matadores isn't around right now. You've got the Ascension kind of doing their thing with Stardust. The primetime players, nobody cares about right now.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing for them to do.
Yeah. The tag division's absurdly weak. And it's too bad because I love tag wrestling. I think that there's like
the NXT tag division is flourishing.
Yep.
There's so many good tag teams in the tag team division down at NXT.
But the thing is, like, it's not that they're any better of tag teams. I mean, I think that you have the talent on the main roster too. It's just that the booking is terrible. Like, that's the thing that's different from NXT to WWE. The booking is just atrocious on the main roster. I mean, I love the tag teams on NXT, but you can't sit there and tell me that like as wrestlers that like, I mean, I love the Vaudevillains, but like that the Vaudevillains are that much better than, you know, Stardust and King Barrett. I mean, Stardust and Barrett are I mean, I know that they're not like together anymore, but they had a short run together. It's like that would have been a great tag team to put together. Why wouldn't they be a tag team? And they could vie for the titles. And it would be awesome. Like, and it's not that the Vaudevillains like work better together or are better wrestlers than
but they have a better tag team gimmick. You know?
Yeah, they have a better tag team gimmick. They get booked better. They get booked in tag matches. That makes sense. So, and the writing behind it is better. They don't just like throw them together for 2 weeks and then call the whole thing off. Like, there's so many indecisive moves that the main roster does. You know, they're like, oh, let's just try this out, and then oh, that didn't really work. Let's put the kibosh down on that. Let's get rid of that.
Let's forget that ever happened.
Right, and it's really strange. But anyway, have you caught any of the that show on the network, the Table for Three show?
I've watched I think all of them now.
Yeah, I haven't seen the latest one with like Sting and Vader and who else? DDP. Yeah,
DDP. Oh, that's really good.
Is it good? I haven't seen that one yet.
Really good.
Yeah, I liked the Owens, Cesaro, Ambrose one a lot. And then I
haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't? It's good. Yeah, it's really good. You should check it out.
I laughed out loud at the Intercontinental Championship one.
That was
Daniel
funny.
Bryan, Ziggler, Ryback. They were just making fun of Ryback nonstop, and it was hilarious.
How much of a bully is Daniel Bryan to Ryback? It's so funny.
Such a bully.
You wouldn't even expect that at all. Like, but
that's so funny though.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's not really bullying though, because you just know that he's such a good guy, and he's not really. He's just giving you crap.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. The one that Ambrose was on, it was funny. He was saying about his like CZW days where he would like put it in his negotiations for pay that he'd be like, okay, you want chairs that's this much, you want tables that's this much. He would use his body as like a bartering system, you know. He'd be like, okay, I'll do barbed wire for this much. Like, it's really funny like how he went about it.
You want a sawzall to the skull, it's this much.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a good show. That was a nice addition to the lineup. They're getting a little bit better. I mean, like we said earlier, I'm really excited for that new one about NXT. Like that's the kind of stuff that I really want on there, and that they really should be putting on there, because every time they come out with like a 24 special, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I love watching that. So
yeah, but then they play it to hell.
Yeah, it's true. But
I've seen that Table for Three with Sting and DDP now like 3 times.
Yeah.
Vader,
I gotta watch that one. What does Vader do? Anything good?
The talking. And Sting has a couple of funny moments. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Well, man, I'm kind of all out. Anything else you want to talk about tonight? Anything you want to bring up? Because I'm pretty much good. I covered some Raw, covered some NXT.
Yeah, I want them to find a way to get Sasha Banks into the Divas Championship match at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, what's going on with that too? Let's run that down real quick. I mean, we'll do a preview show, but what are we gonna do? What's the deal with Hell in a Cell? That's next weekend. Next, right? 25th. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't have a calendar right here, but yeah.
Yeah. So we've got we've got Lesnar, Taker. That's a scary one. Are all these matches in Hell in a Cell, or are there some matches that are not in Hell in a Cell?
No, I don't think.
Reigns Wyatt is right, or is it not? Is the only match in a cell Taker and Lesnar? I don't know. We got to find that out. But
is Kane and Rollins, is that going to be in the cell? Because I don't think like Kevin Owens and Ryback's going to be in the cell.
No, I think that would kind of.
I don't think the girls are going to wrestle in the cell.
No, that would water this whole thing down, I think. So what's going on with the girls? What's the Divas match?
Well, you got Nikki Bella with a rematch against Charlotte.
She's just going to pull the rematch card. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it interesting. Throw Sasha in there. God.
Charlotte might be the worst wrestler out of the three of them. I mean, I know everybody talks about her being a superior athlete and stuff like that, but her in-ring ability and movesets is very predictable.
Yeah.
Very repetitive, and it's nowhere near on par with Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. It might not even be on par with Nikki Bella at this point. She's just got like the same 5 moves.
Yeah. No, I think we've been kind of saying that for a while. Like, out of the 3 of those gals, she's definitely the weaker link.
Maybe they're just giving her the shot because she's Flair's daughter and she's the oldest of the bunch. I mean, she's 30. She's going to be in her 30s.
Yeah, and she's not great on the mic either.
No.
I mean, it's a no-brainer that Sasha is clearly the best one.
WWE must have bought a whole bunch of fake eyelashes too, because all the girls seem to be wearing these like 2-inch long eyelashes. That and hair extensions.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss's hair was down to her waist the other day. She had the pink extensions in there, and her hair was as long as it possibly could be. If it was any longer, it would be like getting caught between her legs and stuff. It would just be ridiculous.
Oh man. Yeah, it is funny what they put these gals through.
Paige's hair, she plays with it nonstop. I mean, you're a fighter. I mean, I get it. You're trying to look good and everything, but like Asuka.
Yeah. Yeah. That girl is phenomenal. Dude, that like death stare to that smile. Oof, brutal.
She's so scary.
So scary. It's like a Japanese horror movie or something. Just brutal.
Like a clown that's gonna stab you in the eye as soon as you look away.
Yeah. I think she'll be up to the main roster in no time. Like with the kind of match. I mean, she had that one match on there that I saw, and I was like super impressed. So I don't want to overdo it, but she has a couple more matches like that. They're gonna be like, what is this girl still doing down there? And I get like that her English isn't very good, but dude, you throw a manager around her, and the sky's the limit. It's like, yeah, why don't they do that anymore, man?
Give her Summer Rae as a manager. Summer Rae can talk.
Yeah, exactly. Or somebody. God, Zeb Coulter. I don't know, like something. Let's give her somebody. Like, that would be awesome. They don't do enough of that anymore either. Like, they don't protect these guys and gals from the microphone. Like Roman Reigns should just have a manager or something. He should. I don't know. Like,
if just sticking with Dean Ambrose and have Dean Ambrose do all the talking.
Yeah, that's all you got to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having them be a tag team and then one of them, vying for the heavyweight championship at any given time. Like, I'd be completely fine with that. And that's kind of what they're doing now, but just don't ever let Roman talk. Let Ambrose do all the talking.
I mean, there's a reason that Paul Heyman does all the talking for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Because Brock Lesnar, as much as a physical beast as he is, and he has some pretty good interviews. When he's on ESPN or he does interviews and stuff, it's pretty good. But promo wise, the guy is he's in the Roman Reigns category when it comes to promos. I mean, he's not quite that bad, but
no, but I mean, like, he can't talk for a long amount of time and have it be interesting. Like, Reigns can come out and say the one-liners, and he can say believe that, and everything's fine, and that's good. But ask him
But you give him a 5-minute monologue like he had the other day, and it's going to end up bad.
Yeah, it's going to end up real bad. So, and that's one thing that Seth Rollins has really excelled at, I think. As long-winded as it gets sometime, like, he's pretty good at it, man. Like, I didn't think he was going to be that good, but he's pretty good at it, at controlling the crowd and making the crowd hate him. And I think that's probably like an easy way too, is that he gets away with it because he's a heel. Reigns is trying to make people like you. I think it's a lot harder to make people like you than make people dislike you. I mean.
So how much longer do you think it's going to be before New Day becomes face again? Because everybody loves them.
I don't know, man. They heal, especially with just like their annoyances, like the trombone and stuff, and they do a lot of dirty tactics. I don't really see them being faces, maybe even at all. I think that they're just kind of stuck in this weird limbo, unless it gets so far one way where the crowd is just like disrupting other matches, and then they're like, okay, we gotta like do something about this. But I think that they're using them perfectly right now, and everything about New Day is absolutely fine. Like, so if it's not broken, don't fix it. Like, everything's great with those guys. Like, they're just they themselves are disrupting everything. They're involved in everything. They're they're on like almost every segment, and they're so annoying. Like, I like them, but man, does that trombone get annoying, and does Xavier Woods at ringside get super annoying. And I'm a fan of theirs, and I'm like, God, shut that guy up. I mean, that's when that he's good,
Right, exactly. I'd like to one day see a Kevin Owens versus Xavier Woods like promo battle.
Oh man. two totally different styles, but it would be awesome. Yeah. Owens might be the best promo man, like, wrestler, but
I love how
Heyman doesn't count because that's all Heyman does, and he's awesome at it. He's the best. But
treats the guys backstage, like the interviewers. He's always like wiping his face with their tie or grabbing stuff out of their pockets.
Man, he's the best.
Oh, he's so good.
And it's funny too, because like, I think you told me this, that's just kind of like an extension of his real life persona. Like, that's like, you heard Kevin Owens say that, but it's like anything that I've ever seen, Kevin Steen do, like off camera, like outside of the Kevin Owens character, like that like the table for three thing, like he's just a funny, like fun kind of jolly Canadian guy, like he's not like a dick at all. So,
I mean, on that Kevin Steen show, that he had, that interview that he does with Deuce, Domino.
Oh yeah.
He just laughed the entire time. I thought he was gonna choke on a goddamn cheese cube. He was laughing so hard.
He was just giggling the entire time. Yeah, so funny. But I don't know, man. So next week we've got.
I'm done bitching about him. We finished on a high note. We talked about the good guys and who makes us love wrestling still. So.
Those are the guys that make us love wrestling right now. New Day, KO, Cesaro, when you get to see him. Like, it's just, those are the guys that we love and we want to see more of. So take note.
Oh, wait, did you see the Noelle Foley interview with Kevin Owens?
I did not. She's gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah. Well, she's talking to him and he's got a notepad. And she's like, well, what do you got on the notepad? He's like, actually, I was writing a letter to Mr. McMahon. And it says, Dear Mr. McMahon, Paige is throwing pens at me. I would like her fired. Love, Kevin Owens, XOXOXO.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Like that's entertaining to me. And I don't know why. Maybe I just have like a, you and I have like a weird sense of humor, and maybe that doesn't go over with like the majority of the fans, but that is funny stuff. And that's what I want to see more of. And maybe it's just that we have to watch, backstage segments and online
the
programming
backstage segments are
and
so good.
up, down, down. We got to watch that show. I mean, if that's where we have to get it, then that's what we'll do. But as far as the main actual roster storyline, like they got to incorporate some of that stuff in there because it's gold. Man. So next week we'll do our
Hell in a Cell preview.
Hell in a Cell preview.
Hell in a Cell.
That's pretty good. You sounded like that old the old JVC guy. Like they'd be like, this slam of the week is brought to you by JVC Kaboom Box.
The slam of the week is brought to you by the JVC Kaboom Box.
And it was always like a big boot by Test or something. Like that's what it was.
Clothesline by Bradshaw.
Yeah, the slam of the week. It was a body slam by Big Show. That was it. Anyway, so next week we get our Hell in a Cell preview and prediction show, and then also scheduled for Thursday. So we'll do it Thursday, but probably be released by Friday. We've got an interview with Rust Crate guys. That'll be good, right? You got that?
Yeah, you just let the cat out of the bag there.
Oh, we got that lined up. Is that not good?
Yeah. No, we're good.
Do we edit that in post? No, we're fine, right?
We're good. We
got it scheduled.
We got it scheduled. He wants to do it with Skype, but I'm going to talk him into doing a Google Hangout so we can do the YouTube video that accompanies it, so that
cool.
He can post it. We can post it.
Sounds good, man. I love it. So anyway, everybody listening, look forward to that next week. Check us out, smarkandmark.com. Check me out on Twitter at Johnny Fashion. Harmon, where are you at on Twitter? I'm at Harmon316. Yeah, you are. And check out the Smark and Mark Twitter at Smark and Mark _PW. And that's about it. Thanks for listening, guys. Harmon, anything else for tonight? No, I'm good. You good? Good. Are we going to bed? I'm going to bed after this. We started the show off by, complaining about the stuff we didn't want, and we ended the show talking about the people that we love. So it leveled out. Yeah, it was a gradual build, and that's how it ends. It's perfect. End on a high note. Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me, Harmon. I love it. So, and all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us here. So, peace out, y'all. See you next week.